guys, I'm Kirsten Grant. This is part 2 of the 3-part emotional eating series that I promised you from Instagram last week. Now, just to briefly recap from last week, I talked about emotional eating getting a bad rap, so to speak. Because when someone thinks about emotional eating, an image appears in their mind of the last time that they or someone that they know drowned their tears in a pint of ice cream. But we're complex human beings. You see, our emotions span the gamut from happy to sad. And that is why there are countless stories of the emotions in our life having range, like the chapters of a book. And whether you read audiobooks or physical books, we all know that books, no matter the topic, no matter the length of the book, they consist of chapters. And each chapter consists of highs and lows and suspense and horror and gut-wrenching times, just like your life. Anyway, let's get to what I promised you guys for this week. So how do you find out what triggers you emotionally to eat and what to do about it? Now, here's one way, and I mean one way to really find out what triggers you emotionally. One way to really find out what triggers you emotionally is to think about the last time you were really upset about something. I want you to think about what happened there. Ask yourself, where was your headspace at the time before everything kind of hit the fan, so to speak? Did something or was something happening at your job? Was something happening in your life, your significant other, even something as simple as having a really bad commute home and traffic? Now, why am I asking you to do this? Because this will help you identify the most important goalpost in your life. So, what are goalposts, you ask? Think about what a goalpost looks like. There's a space between two goalposts, and that space represents your values and beliefs. Then you have the ends of the goalpost, and those ends, like your life, represent the limits and your beliefs. So anything that falls inside of this space, your brain is comfortable with and doesn't really cause too much of a ruckus. However, when life, your environment, friends, family members try to get you to adopt an idea that is contrary to your conscious and subconscious beliefs, you begin to feel that old familiar feeling of the tightness in your chest, in your throat, in your shoulders. You may even begin to feel like your head is throbbing and going to explode. Then, if that person or situation keeps pressing you and you can't resolve it, then you begin to feel like you're trapped, like you're overwhelmed. And then the negative self-talk begins. You know, that tape recorder, uninvited, that goes off in your head and says, here she goes again. I've said that I can't do this. I tried this before and it didn't work. I don't want to do this. Or it says, I always, or I never budget right. And that's why I overeat. And in that situation that keeps pressing, they keep pressing, and then all of a sudden, boom, you explode because, well, all that energy has to go somewhere, okay? Now, right now, I want you to pause. I want you to breathe. Now that you know what triggers you to emotionally eat, I want you to find a way to address this trigger. So let's get into it. First, once again, think about what happened. I want you to play this in your mind like a movie and then pause at the most critical scene of you. Ask yourself, where was your headspace once again at that time when that happened? Think about what you were thinking. So for example, if you were thinking about something in your past that you tried out that didn't work, and now someone is asking you yet again to to try something similar to that occurrence that happened. Now, in this scene in your mind, I want you to work on identifying the belief and thought that's powering that fight or flight complex. You might even want to grab a pen and paper to write this one down. I want you to draw 3 circles at the top of a piece of paper. I want you to write each belief that you have in each circle. Then I want you to draw 3 circles at the bottom of the page and draw a line from the top of the page with each circle to the bottom of the page, each circle. Now, for each circle at the top, ask yourself regarding the belief, is this 100% true? I mean, the question that you really need to ask yourself, I mean, no, seriously, I want you to ask yourself like you're having a conversation with your brain, because your brain will respond. And ask your brain, like, self. And the brain will say, yes. Now, in this circle, self, you wrote down the belief that I am bad at math and budgeting, for example, and that's why I'm broke. Seriously? Really, brain? So seriously, like the last time I had a situation that I need to use math, I bombed it, and that has never ever happened where I succeeded at budgeting. At this point, you should start to think of at least 1 or 2 situations where you stuck to your goals and exercised discipline and restraint in the face of a purchase, okay? I want you to take that approach with the next 2 circles, whatever you wrote down, and ask yourself that question again. You see, taking this approach will help you eliminate that hamster wheel of emotions that causes you to spiral out of control and causes you to overeat, because you're addressing what's going on in your mind and that negative thinking. So that's it, guys. Next week, I am going to conclude the last part of this series where I talk about how to stay in the zone with these new habits, on how to address emotional eating. So that'll be coming up next week. Please like or follow my page on Instagram or Facebook, especially if you like what you're hearing. There'll be more on emotional eating and food addiction. But next week, I'll be talking about how to keep from getting stuck, essentially, and how to make sure that you are able to keep this going, okay? All right, so I hope all this helped you. Everyone have a great day. Much love.